Now, what if I told you that an ancient Indian philosophy actually described our current age of virtual reality thousands of years ago? No, this isn't some modern new age idea. This is something much more profound and powerful. And then we'll explore each one individually before putting them together at the end. This is the idea that our entire universe is a hyper-realistic computer program or video game. Everything we experience, everything we think is real, is actually just ones and zeros, bits of information on a hard drive. Here's how it breaks down. The modern theory proposes a coded reality, a universe literally constructed from lines of computer code. This is similar to the ancient idea of the world being a world of names and forms, a collection of things we perceive and label, but which ultimately lack inherent existence on their own, the self. The simulation theory says that we are the players, perhaps even watching this video right now, you are the player sitting in a chair somewhere outside the game. In contrast, ancient Indian thought puts us right in the middle of the game. We are the Atman or witness consciousness experiencing everything directly, the creator. The modern theory points to a programmer who wrote the lines of code that make up our reality. The ancient concept shifts the focus to Brahman, the fabric of reality itself, which uses Maya to create the world and our place in it. The goal, those trapped in the simulation want to escape, to break free of the code or convince the creator to unplug them. In the ancient view, the goal is moksha or waking up, not to escape the world, but to realize that we are already free. The world is not something out there separate from us, it is an intrinsic part of our own being. The basic idea here is that we're living in a simulation created by a more advanced civilization. Why should you care about this comparison between Maya and simulation theory? Well, here are a few points. First, the idea that the simulation has a purpose, a divine Leela, or play of consciousness, suggests that our experiences, our joys and sorrows, our relationships and challenges, they're not just random glitches in the matrix. They're all part of a greater plan, a divine comedy, if you will. Second, the ancient concept of Maya is deeply empowering. It doesn't leave our freedom and happiness in the hands of some programmer or the whims of a simulation. Instead, it points to ourselves as the ultimate source of our liberation. The idea is that we don't need to escape the simulation because the simulation is within us. And when we realize that we are one with the ultimate reality, that's when we're truly free. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the concept of Maya helps us to see through the illusion of separateness. It reminds us that although we may feel like individual selves, separate from others and the world around us, this is just an illusion. In reality, we are all interconnected and ultimately one. The world of names and forms that we experience is not separate from us, it is a part of us. And this realization, this awakening to our true nature as the ultimate goal of life. Think of it like plugging into a massive video game, with the Matrix being its most famous cinematic portrayal. So what's going on? Well, the stuff we call the laws of physics are nothing but the code of the game. Our bodies are our avatars, characters we're playing in this digital world. And our consciousness, our sense of self, our joys, fears, and thoughts are just part of the game's programming. We're literally characters in this cosmic video game, reacting and interacting according to the rules set by the programmers. Now, there are different levels to this theory, but at its core, it suggests that our reality is fundamentally digital. The vibe of this idea is fascinating, but also a bit cold, technological. If true, it could suggest that we're nothing more than digital puppets, raising some pretty nihilistic questions about free will and meaning. It's the ancient Indian concept of Maya and how it applies to what we call today the simulation theory. Let's start with the core idea of this video, the shocking parallel between this modern idea called simulation theory and this ancient Indian concept called Maya. First up, let's explore the modern theory, simulation theory. Okay, now let's dive into the ancient concept, Maya. Maya, derived from the Sanskrit root may, meaning to measure, is a complex concept that goes beyond just the idea of the world being fake or unreal. In ancient Indian philosophies like Samkhya and Advaita Vedanta, Maya is the cosmic power of the ultimate reality, Brahman, which deludes us into perceiving the world as separate from ourselves. Think of it as the veil that hides the truth of our existence. So what's happening here? Well, Maya doesn't say the world is fake. Instead, it's about how our perception of the world is a grand, cosmic illusion. Remember, in ancient Indian philosophies, Brahman is the ultimate reality, the pure, infinite, all-pervading consciousness. But here's the twist: Brahman is absolutely devoid of any internal divisions. It's just one unified consciousness, yet somehow from this absolute unity comes the relative world with all its diversity, its people, trees, stars, and everything we experience. And that transition from absolute unity to perceived diversity is where Maya comes in. She is the divine power that makes this happen. So how does she do this? Imagine this. You're in a dark room and you see what you think is a snake, but it's actually just a rope. Your fear of the snake is very real, right? Your heart races, your breathing quickens. But the object causing your fear isn't actually a snake, it's just a rope. In this scenario, your fear is real, but its cause is a misperception. And that misperception is caused by Maya, the cosmic power of illusion. In essence, Maya is the trick of perception, the obstacle that hides the truth of our existence. So what's the purpose of Maya? Why does the ultimate reality, Brahman, create this elaborate illusion? Well, it's not for no reason. It's for the sake of Leela, the divine play of consciousness. The idea is that Brahman, being absolutely perfect and complete, doesn't need anything. So it uses Maya to create the world and our individual selves as a means to experience all those things that are still inherently a part of its own divine nature. And that's the key point. Despite the appearance of separation and difference, Maya reminds us that at its core, everything is interconnected and ultimately one. In fact, according to ancient Indian philosophies, the goal of life is to realize this truth, to see through the illusion of Maya, and recognize our true nature, which is one with the ultimate reality, Brahman. This realization is called moksha, or waking up. So let's put these ideas together. We have the world of simulation and the ancient world of Maya. Let's draw out some direct comparisons. The world. So what's the philosophical takeaway here? So remember, friends, you don't need to escape the simulation. You just need to wake up. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of ancient wisdom and modern ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. And until next time, may you find joy and freedom on your journey through life.